So we finally have a release date for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on Nintendo Switch 2. It is going to come out on June 3rd, 2026, just 2 days before the Summer Games Festival hosted by Jeff Keighley, showcasing the many different games that are going to appear later this year. And I think this is basically the best evidence we have of knowing when Part 3 is going to be revealed in some capacity. Now, I know there's a Sony State of Play that's coming out next week, or at least rumored to come out next week. Is it going to have anything Part 3 related in it? Possible. I think it's a very smaller chance, and I'll explain why. While I do, like I said, think there is a chance, I don't think they will reveal Part 3 until Switch 2 and Xbox get both Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on their systems and, alongside Remake. Because then that's when they could ramp up the marketing for Part 3. And there was also another rumor. The rumor stated that Part 3 is going to be multi-platform. It is not going to be exclusive to Sony, meaning that will literally be the perfect time to actually reveal Part 3 to the world and also boost sales for both Remake and Rebirth, not just on Nintendo Switch 2 and Xbox, but also on PlayStation and PC. So with the way marketing was for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and it was a pretty long stretch with many months in between where there was no marketing whatsoever, so it was very long periods of time before they actually revealed anything in regards to Rebirth. I think what they're going to do is going to lessen that time length. They're going to lessen that timeline and create a timeline where it's very possible that Part 3 comes out in January to, settle and collab with the 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII. And with the shorter time frame for marketing, I think this is a perfect opportunity for them to do so at the Summer Games Fest if the aim is for a January release. 6 months of just non-stop Part 3 marketing. You could have a video or showing something every single month from the Summer Games Festival onto the release date, and that would really boost the marketing sales for Part 3. But it will also boost the sales for Rebirth and Remake, which is what they want as well. You want gamers to not just buy Part 3, you want gamers to know that, Remake and Rebirth are already out on almost anything that you can, have. Console-wise, Nintendo Switch 2, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, you can have it on almost anything now. Play these games first before going into Part 3, and that's what they want to do. That's what they're going to do. That's going to be a huge part of the marketing standpoint, because they want players to play all the previous 2 games before they play Part 3. You don't want gamers to just go straight into Part 3 and, not know what the hell is happening. So that's why the Summer Games Fest seems more likely that we will see a trailer or just something in regards to Part 3, because it will help not only boost Rebirth sales that just, was released that same week, just 2 days ago, but just also help boost sales of Remake on every single console or PC that it is on. That's what their plan is. I think that's actually really smart marketing on their part. They don't want to repeat the same thing that happened with Rebirth marketing. So I do think that while we could get a teaser, kind of like what they did with Rebirth at the State of Play next week, which I hope is on the 11th because I work on the 12th, but I think it's very likely that we get a first full-blown trailer at the Summer Games Festival. It is a much bigger showcase than the State of Play, so to them, for Square Enix, marketing-wise, it makes a lot more sense to do it at the bigger show event instead of the State of Play, especially if they are now multi-platform. It would not really make any sense to just put it on the State of Play if their plan is to have it on every single console, and on PC at the same time on the same release date. It just wouldn't make any sense, because then you'll get people thinking, it's only a Sony exclusive at that point. You showed it at the State of Play, it's a Sony exclusive, done. And people just be confused more. That's why it's better to showcase at the Summer Games Festival, because then you don't have to just put, exclusively only on Sony. But you could showcase that every single console that the game is going to come out, as well as also say, hey, Remake and Rebirth are also on these consoles as well. Play these games before you play Part 3. Great marketing. It will boost the sales of Rebirth Remake on everything, and that's why the Summer Games Festival is the most likely destination for and the full reveal of Part 3. I will also say that there was something very interesting I noticed in the trailer. Now, I know people have already stated that the title for Part 3 will likely be Reclaim, but I am really believing more and more that Reclaim is going to be the title for Part 3. While not shown during the Nintendo Direct, Nintendo did release a second trailer over on their YouTube channel where it's more of a story focus based trailer, and in that trailer Cloud speaks about Sephiroth reclaiming his birthright to go alongside his mother Jenova and get the planet back to where it belonged, to where he believes it belongs to him and his mother. So it does seem like Reclaim is being emphasized here. And Reclaim can work for many different things that occurred in the last half of Final Fantasy VII's story, whether it be Cloud reclaiming his identity, Tifa reclaiming her memories and the real Cloud that she knew, Aerith reclaiming her relationship with Zack, or, you know, the cast reclaiming their fate. You know, all of this can fit with the word reclaim. Reclaiming just works a lot in what they're trying to do. So that's why I think Reclaim is going to be the title of Part 3, especially since they just emphasize it a lot more. They made sure that you pay attention to that. It makes the most sense. You're reclaiming fate, you're reclaiming destiny, you're reclaiming the planet back to its former glory without Jenova and Sephiroth getting involved. You're reclaiming the live stream back. It just fits every single box that I think would fit what's going to happen in the events of Part 3. So this is pretty big news, pretty big thing of the release date for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on Switch. I cannot wait to see if I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong and they showcase something in a state of play, because that would be really cool to see finally something with Part 3. But I think based off everything that they're trying to do with marketing wise and not trying to repeat what happened with Rebirth, I think they're going to do it at the Summer Games Festival. That's the biggest showcase during the summer, before the Game Awards and before the Tokyo Game Awards and such. So I think that would be the perfect time, and then you have the release date in 2027, whether it be in January, whether it be in April. But I don't think they're going to do a marketing plan where it's going to go past beyond at least a 1 year time frame. It just wouldn't make sense. It just didn't work out with Rebirth, where they tried to do it a little bit longer past a year. So I truly believe it's going to be there. The game is playable. They're just working out the little kinks that they still have to deal with to make it, you know, smooth. So everything seems to be working right. The voice actors have stated that they already done voices for it. So everything just seems it's pointing towards the Summer Game Festival for the reveal of Part 3, which I think is going to be titled Reclaim. So yeah, can't wait. I'm excited. Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's see what Square Enix does, and I can't wait. So let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you so much for watching, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of my coverage of Final Fantasy VII. Bye bye everyone.